Hi, my name is Robert Ridley, and my presentation today will be on the case study Internet Use Violation. Problem identification and analysis. What we know. The high school is located in an affluent area. Ms. Walker is in her second year as a teacher. The classes that she teaches are upper level, and students are stressed with the workload. Dr. Forbes, the principal, has received several calls from parents and students in regards to Ms. Walker's class being too rigorous. Dr. Forbes has given instructional strategies to the teacher, but the teacher failed to implement. Ms. Walker received an email instructing her to view a web page. The web page contained serious comments and threats in relation to Ms. Walker. Ms. Walker feels threatened for her life and she may be in danger. Ms. Walker contacted the principal in regards to the web page and to seek assistance. Dr. Forbes provides guidance and an action plan. What we need to know. We need to investigate the situation to know who is responsible for the act. We need to review policies and procedures in regards to cyberbullying. We need to know if there are any legal ramifications for this act, such as a tort or any other federal law violations. We need to know which students feel disgruntled with Ms. Walker as well. The problem in the situation is a teacher in the building feels threatened for their life. Category 2, proposed plan of action. The action plan. In the first step would be to speak with Ms. Walker the next morning to get all of her information related to the situation, and also to ensure her that the admin team will work diligently to ensure that all students and staff are safe. Step 2, I would speak with our IT staff to determine if the creator can be identified and removal of website. Also should notify our district lawyers of the situation in case legal action is needed. Step 3 would be to speak with all identified disgruntled students to gain information pertinent to the situation. Step 4, involve authorities if the act is deemed criminal, or to seek assistance in identifying the offender if our IT department cannot. Step 5, if the offender has been identified, then we need to have parent contact. Then, step 6 would be to speak with the admin team on the situation and follow the appropriate policies and procedures as outlined in the school/district handbook. Step 7, contact authorities if needed and notify lawyers. Category 3, issue resolution for success. First and foremost, in making decisions that promote the safety of all students and staff. That is the primary goal of any resolution. Number 2, once we have identified the root cause of the situation, follow all policies and procedures outlined in the school and district handbook. Identify why the offender did not reach out to the admin team or anyone, and what we can do better to ensure that all students feel they can speak with the admin about any situation. I would also like to continue to work with Ms. Walker in providing instructional strategies to help all parties be successful, the teacher and the student. Follow through with any informal or formal observations of teacher to ensure strategies are being implemented and to determine if those strategies are effective or if we need to go back and look to see what else we may need to implement or take out in order for all parties to be successful. The next step in the resolution would be to stress the importance to everyone in the building about positive rapport with all students. I'm a firm believer that kids do not care what you know until they know that you care. One of my professors in college, he quoted that one day in class, and it has kind of stuck with me ever since. And I've been a firm believer that, we can be highly intelligent within our content area, but it doesn't matter how much we know about that area until the kids know that we actually care about them and their success. Once the students know that we care about them and we care about their future, then the students are more willing to do really anything that we need them to do. They probably run through a brick wall for you. As being a coach, I found that this is also instrumental in coaching students as well outside of the classroom. It's all about developing those positive relationships with those students in order for them to understand that you care about them and will make any decision that needs to be made in order for them to be successful. Category 4, debriefing problem through reflection. In reflecting on the situation, I believe the situation possibly could have been halted depending on various situations. According to the case study, the principal did a great job responding to calls about Mrs. Walker's classroom and the effectiveness of her instruction. The principal gave Ms. Walker several strategies to improve her instruction. However, I feel the issue with this is the follow-through. According to the case study, we do not know if any follow-up observations were conducted to ensure strategies had been implemented. The case study says that they were not implemented, but does not specify how we know this information. If the strategies were not implemented as the principal, then we can sit down and have a conversation and maybe identify why they were not implemented, and then just have that conversation and explain to the teacher as to why those strategies were suggested, and to help give some more facts on strategies that could be put in place to help her be successful. This may or may not have helped in preventing the situation, but I believe it shows how important follow-through with observations can be. Category 5, promoting success for students by acting with integrity, fairness, and ethics. In Component 1, demonstrating integrity and ethical behavior. By listening to Ms. Walker's situation and taking the issue seriously, by giving Ms. Walker appropriate guidance and laying out a plan to ensure all students and staff are safe. Also, by continuing to keep Ms. Walker updated on the situation and informing her of the resolution once the situation has been concluded, or the investigation. Component 2, treating people with fairness, dignity, and respect. I would not accuse anyone of the crime until evidence proves otherwise. As the principal, interview the students with the admin team and not with Ms. Walker, as she has an obvious emotional connection to the issue. And sometimes when we become too emotional, we tend to point fingers instead of investigating all parties and trying to figure out all facts. Be sure to follow up with Ms. Walker as to the resolution of the case, and also to be sure to keep all information pertinent to the case confidential. I believe it's very important to not have any bias in investigating the situation. Interviewing all students involved that might have been disgruntled with a teacher, I believe, is a very high priority in the case. And do not accuse them of anything. Just ask them, what's going on, and try to ask those questions to see if they had any violation or any relation in regards to the case. Component 3, demonstration of personal and professional ethics. By listening to the situation and treating all parties involved with respect and fairness. It can also be done by not making any emotional decisions, but rather evidence-based decisions to ensure all students and faculty are safe, and by allowing all parties equal opportunity to present their sides and take appropriate action based on the evidence acquired. Within this case, I believe that for Ms. Walker, it is very important to follow up with her upon the conclusion of the case, and to ensure her that we have followed all steps necessary. And if someone has been identified, we don't necessarily have to convey who the perpetrator was, but to let the teacher know that the situation has been handled and that there is no threat to her life, and to ensure that she feels safe and that all students feel safe within the learning environment. It is our job as an administrator to make sure that everyone in our building feels warm and welcome and that it's a safe environment. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and thank you for this course. It has been very informational, and I have gained a lot of knowledge through the course and from all of you. So thank you for listening, and I hope to work with you in the future. Thank you.